In the replication within MongoDB, there's only a single primary at any given time. And in the default configuration, your writes and your reads go to that primary. Now, your writes have to go to the primary, but your reads don't have to go to the primary. The reads could go to the secondaries if you'd like. But if you allow the writes to go into the primary, then what happens is you get strong consistency of reads with respect to writes. And what this means, among other things, is that you won't read stale data. That if you write something, that you'll be able to read it. And other application servers that read it will also be able to read what you wrote after you wrote it, provided that you waited for the write to complete through journaling. Now, you can, if you prefer, allow your reads to go to your secondaries, but if you do that, then you may read stale data from the secondaries relative to what you wrote or somebody else wrote in the primaries. And the lag between any two nodes is not guaranteed because the replication is asynchronous. So you want to keep that in mind. And we'll go through the different read preferences that you can set in terms of the drivers to decide whether or not you're willing to accept reads from the secondaries. And the reasons why you might want to go read from the secondaries, I mean, the traditional reason people do it is because they want to scale their reads through the replica set. So they feel that if they can send their reads to all the nodes, that they'll get some read scaling. We'll go over that a little bit later in terms of whether that's really true or not and whether it's a good idea. But I guess for the purpose of this, I just wanted to explain to you that the memory model here is strongly consistent. On the other hand, though, when failover occurs, briefly during that time when there is no primary, you can't complete a write because there is no primary. And then when another primary is elected, let's say this primary goes down, which is going to be pretty rare, obviously, then during that period, you won't be able to actually perform any writes. And this is in contrast to some other systems that compete with MongoDB that have a weaker form of consistency. Some of them have what's called eventual consistency. And eventual consistency means that eventually you'll be able to read what you wrote, but there's no guarantee that you'll be able to read it in any particular time frame. And I mean, the problem with eventual consistency is it's pretty hard to reason about. Because when you write something into the database, I mean, most web servers these days, most application servers are stateless. So it's a little disconcerting to, let's say, write the session information or write other information into the database and then read it back out and get a different value, and then have to reconcile what that means. So MongoDB does not offer eventual consistency in its default configuration where you read and write to the primaries. If you want a form of eventual consistency, you can read from the secondaries, which will give you eventual consistency. Okay, so let's do a quiz. All right, so during the time when failover is occurring in a replica set, can writes successfully complete? The answer is yes or no.